Live from downtown Oklahoma City, Oklahoma's own News 9 starts now.
Right now at 5, an investigation finds several financial issues at Epic charter schools. The fixes recommended.
Plus, reliving their honeymoon with a road trip down Route 66, their plans to do it in style.
And he gave us a big hug and he was ready to go eat some pizza.
A sigh of relief for an entire community when a missing 12-year-old boy is found safe. And that is where we start tonight. Beating the odds. A young boy is found alive after spending 9 days hiding from his family. Thanks for joining us. I'm Amanda Taylor.
And I'm Karl Torp. While in jail in Caddo County, the district attorney confirms that the child's stepfather, George Cole Jr., attempted to take his life. Happened today just after Cole and his wife Kimberly were charged with a combined 25 counts that include child sexual abuse. Sylvia Corco joining us now with the details and why volunteers say their work is far from over.
Carl, Amanda, after the couple was formally charged, Caddo County District Attorney Jason Hicks tells me George made that attempt on his life after returning to his cell. Now, volunteers say while there's no doubt RJ is a tough kid, faced with a long road to recovery, they're determined to get him all the help he needs. Found safe after days of exhaustive searches spanning 2 counties, a crowd erupted celebrating the recovery of RJ Davis.
He gave us a hug. We told him that he was safe and nobody was going to harm him anymore. Yeah.
OSBI investigators said RJ suddenly revealed himself to 2 members of the Cajun Navy credited with finding him.
Visibly shaken, terrified, but overall, he was a tough kid.
Volunteers said as days stretched into a week and then 9 days, they were determined not to lose hope.
I kept seeing photos of him smiling and then not smiling. And those photos really struck me hard. And I thought, you know what, if that were my nephew or my son, I would never stop.
RJ was found Sunday hiding in the elements about 1.5 miles from his parents' home in Cement.
I think there was that. He did end up revealing himself to us while we were still kind of clearing an area to make it safer to look in depth. And he came out with his hands up. So after we both laid eyes on him, it was like, RJ?
OSBI investigators believe RJ may have spent some time sheltered in an abandoned basement and said his previous camping experience helped him to survive. Now, volunteers say they've been fielding hundreds of calls and emails from the public asking how they can help and where they can donate. They tell me those details are being worked out and warn not to donate to fraudulent GoFundMe accounts. They say multiple fake accounts have already popped up and have already been shut down. Carl?
Sylvia, thank you. And we are thankful for all those that volunteered their time to look for RJ. As of tonight, the DA says that Cole Jr. remains hospitalized. The couple's bond is set at $2.5 million.
We'll be following the story throughout the evening. Now let's talk about the weather because 8 counties here in Oklahoma are under a burn ban. Yep. David Payne joining us from the Bob Mills Weather Center. And David, there's a real concern right now because we need a lot more rain.
Yeah, and we're also in the middle of one of our driest months of the year. That is December, January, and February. So that's a problem. We don't get a whole lot of moisture to begin with, but the drought started in the fall and it's just raging. We had some rain last week. That was good, but that's certainly not going to be enough. We need more moisture. Today, beautiful. Hey, at least if we're going to be, dry, at least keep it like this, right? It has been so good. The weekend was cool, but the weekend, it was good. All right, links to, and the weekend highs, there you go, 50 on Saturday, 51 yesterday, today, up into the mid-60s. Remember the 70s of last week. 64 now in Guthrie, 65 at Lake Thunderbird, 65 in Mustang, 64 in Okarche, and the rest of Oklahoma, lots of 60s. We had a few 70s earlier in the northwest, and right now it's a light southwest breeze at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Clear skies here. We have snow on the ground out across Kansas and Colorado. That'll melt away over the next several days. But for us, get ready. Near record high temperatures coming up tomorrow. Here come the 70s, but the wildfire threat, the days to watch, I'll break that down for you. Cold air will make a return. It's going to get chilly. And what about that next storm? Maybe some rain, maybe some snow. We'll take any moisture we can get. I'll break that down for you as well. Coming up. Guys, back to you.
David, thanks. A former Mustang high school teacher pleads no contest to several charges connected to a relationship he had with a former student. Investigators say Raymond Garner had hundreds of sexual encounters with the student from 2014 to 2017. The victim came forward in 2023 and charges were filed later that year. Garner faces up to life in prison, is going to be sentenced February 23rd. A former Oklahoma pastor pleads guilty to a dozen Peeping Tom related charges, as well as trying to inappropriately touch a woman inside a Hobby Lobby store. Kendrick Oakley was sentenced to 2 years in prison and another 3 years probation. He must also register as a sex offender.
What started as a drive-by shooting ends when two suspects crashed a car here in the metro. Oklahoma City police say Marcus Cartwright and Dominic Lee were involved in a fight near Southeast 29th and I-35 early Saturday morning. Police say Cartwright fired one shot before both got into a car and drove off. More shots were fired as they drove away. Reports show they then crashed near I-240 in May. That's when they were booked on multiple complaints and no one was actually shot. Two Texans are arrested in Enid on outstanding felony warrants. They'll now face new charges here in Oklahoma. Police tracked Johnny Mix and Kristen Martin to an apartment in that town. When they were arrested, officers found meth, mushrooms, and stolen guns in the apartment. They were booked into jail on several drug complaints, including trafficking.
A new candidate enters the race for Oklahoma Lieutenant Governor.
Exclusively on News 9 this morning, former House Speaker T.W. Shannon announced his bid to run. Shannon says he's returning home after serving in the Trump administration to run on a platform focused on tax cuts and economic growth. He says that all starts with having a vision for the state.
If we're going to make Oklahoma greater, we've got to remember what made it great to start with. We are a small state with really big dreams, but that starts with having leaders that can raise the culture of low expectation.
Shannon is entering a competitive race against 5 other Republicans, including current state auditor Cindy Byrd, and 2 Democratic candidates. Primary elections, by the way, are in June. And our Capitol reporter Haley Hedrick has been sitting down with all of the candidates running for governor, lieutenant governor, and attorney general. You can see those on our website, news9.com.
Still ahead, News 9 here at 5 o'clock. Coal for Christmas. The new numbers from police on Operation Grinch, a major theft investigation in the metro.
Plus, a new audit reveals more than a dozen areas of improvement for Epic charter schools. Reaction from the new superintendent coming up.
A 16-year-old now in custody in connection with a deadly shooting in downtown Oklahoma City. Police say a fight broke out when a group of teens was asked to leave the Wyndham near Broadway and Sheridan early Sunday morning. The teen shot Sunjun July before running away, the security guard. July died at the hospital. Officers tracked down the teen and he was booked on a murder complaint. This woman is in jail for assault after she allegedly attacked an officer with a nail file. Police say the woman was soliciting near Santa Fe and Edmond. Friday night, she was confronted by officers before she lashed out.
Do you want to make a movie?
Make a movie?
Yeah, because if you're his supervisor.
I'm not trying to make a movie and I'm not trying to give you a hard time. I'm just explaining to you what it is. Back up!
You see it right there. The nail file apparently hit the officer's vest. That woman was eventually tased by 2 officers also on scene. The woman was treated at the hospital before being booked on assault complaints.
We have new information from Oklahoma City Police. It turns out a Christmas thief swiped even more stuff than we initially thought. Police say Michael Armstrong stole $45,000 worth of items in what they're calling Operation Grinch. Here's a look at some of those items stolen. Officers originally thought it was $30,000 worth of stolen goods, but again, $45,000.
And then we recovered a plethora of stolen property. Lots of the property we were able to identify from other victims and following Mr. Armstrong around, and that allowed us to return a lot of this property back to the rightful owner, which was awesome because it was.
Police say in all 30 people had items stolen from them. In all 5 people have been connected with the case, and they all face several theft and drug-related complaints.
All right, Oklahoma, we are live at the Bob Mills Weather Center. Outside today, nothing but sunshine. It is beautiful here. Look at all of our camera shots here, part of our Lucky Star Skycam network. We look good now. The clouds will return. What about some rain? Maybe some winter weather? Your forecast coming up.
So coming up, the changes recommended to Epic charter schools after an audit finds major financial mismanagement after the break.
You're watching Oklahoma's own News 9.
A newly released audit shows years of financial mismanagement at Epic charter schools.
It points out more than a dozen problem areas, including a lack of internal audit procedures. Our Capitol reporter Haley Hetrick joins us now live with details from the report.
Carl and Amanda, this investigation was commissioned by the statewide charter school board after Epic held massive layoffs twice last year that raised some concerns about the charter school's finances.
Epic started experiencing significant budget variances and budget deficits within its financial position.
The outside firm released the report publicly today, revealing no misappropriation of funds or willful wrongdoing, but it did identify several areas of improvement that the school should address. One of the main issues the audit found was limited financial expertise on Epic's board. That resulted in incorrect projections, insufficient documentation of budgets, along with lack of oversight and board approval on the budget process. Now, after a full investigation, this firm had 15 recommendations. 4 of those have been fully implemented, 8 are a work in progress, and the final 3 have had no action taken yet. It is worth noting the CFO and other key players who were making these financial decisions are no longer with the school. The new superintendent, Sean Ross, says he's dedicated to making the necessary changes to get things back on track.
We will put those things in place, those checks and balances that you alluded to in your line of questionings, and the report itself indicates, in order for us to get back to the business that we are hired to do, and that is to be the best product for the 31,000 students and their families that choose Epic Charter for their educational needs.
Now, Ross joined Epic as superintendent last Monday, so he's only been on the job for a week now. But he says he's dedicated to transparency in this new role. Carl?
Haley, thank you. More on Ross and his plans for the future tomorrow night at 6 o'clock.
Yeah, let's talk now about the weather because we're kind of in a dry stretch right now.
Yeah.
You got to wonder too about the wind and what's going to happen there with the fire danger.
We do have some wind coming up. We don't have the crazy winds that we will get at the end of February and March. Winds are 60 to 70 behind the dry lines, which we often do.
Yeah.
That's not showing up yet. Too early for that, but still gusts, 20, 30, 40. And we'll have some of that on the 9 days, so the wind, it's going to crank up. So will the fire threat, so that's our concern. So the rain last week was good. We just need a lot more of it. And if you're wondering how warm it's been, so far, the official start of, again, winter, December 21st, up until basically today, we are in first place for the warmest winter on record. Now, that will change. We still have to get through, obviously, January, all the way through the month going into February. But as of today, we are in first place. So, yeah, if you're thinking, it feels like it's been warm. You're right. You are not wrong, my friends. So, lots of warm air. And like last week, you throw in some warm air, jet stream and some moisture. What do you get? You get tornadoes, right? So, my wind and fire threat the next 9 days. Notice no days at high or extreme, but some days are moderate, like Wednesday. See the end there? That's a north wind, gust to 40. The top numbers here, those are the gusts I expect throughout those days, are the maximum gusts. We have gusts 25, 30, 35 on Friday with another north wind. So we have many cold fronts lined up. Some of these will be fairly strong, but no crazy cold, okay? The burn bans continue to ramp up. We had 6 last Friday, and over the weekend we've added 2 more, now up to 8 counties in Oklahoma under a burn ban. And that number and those counties continues to increase. Right now in Oklahoma City, looking off to the south, what a beautiful day. The weekend was amazing. Yesterday was out of control, no wind at all. Today, a little breezy with the southwest wind. We made it up into the mid to upper 60s. Right now we're at 63 with a southwest breeze now at about 10 to 15 miles per hour. That shot, part of our Lucky Star Skycam network. All right, 62 in Guthrie, 65 at Lake Thunderbird, 65 in Meeker, 60 in El Reno with a southwest breeze, and the rest of Oklahoma, lots of 60s on the map. With a southwest wind here. The winds are light now. They'll stay light this evening. And then as we get into tomorrow, we'll do it again with more of a southwest breeze. And that's going to be, again, a lot warmer tomorrow than today even. All right, the jet stream is to our north, coming out of the northwest, diving into the Great Lakes. So that's where the cold air is. It's from here northward, while we are in pretty good shape. Now, again, we will be turning colder as The Arctic air, the brunt of this is going to come south. We get a glancing blow a couple of times, several times on the 9-day, but it's like a one-day deal. Moves in, moves out, and the real cold stays to our north and east. Cold shot number 1 comes in on Wednesday. Next cold shot comes in Friday and Saturday. That'll be cold shot number 2, but the real cold stuff, again, the Arctic air, the brunt of it, again, and the snow is going to be to our north and to our northeast. We get a little bit of it, but not enough, and that's okay, right? And then there is a chance of rain, maybe some winter weather on about January 24th with that storm right there, and that might give us, depends on how cold we are, winter weather, some ice, some sleet, some snow, or just plain old rain. So we'll have to wait and see, but that is our next chance of anything as far as any precip on about January 24th. All right, lows tonight, low to mid-30s, coldest in the north, and not bad elsewhere, but chilly, a light southwest breeze. Wind chills in the morning will be in the teens when Megan and Lacey are out here tomorrow morning. And then highs tomorrow, upper 60s and low 70s, near record highs tomorrow, warm. And then look at Wednesday. I know we're going to drop it at least 20. Wednesday's highs, 40s in the north, low 50s elsewhere, with a gusty north wind, gust to 40 miles per hour with that moderate fire danger. All right, 58, big warm up on Friday. Thursday, colder Friday, colder Saturday, high 48, Sunday 56. Monday, we do it again, back to the 40s. We'll warm it back up after that. So big ups, big downs. What's important is that the 9-day, sadly, it is bone dry. Again, January 24th, that's the day to watch for our next storm. Guys, back to you.
We're going to be watching for that. David, thank you. Coming up, celebrating a marriage milestone by retracing a honeymoon trip along Route 66. Why the Mother Road is so special to one Oklahoma couple after the break.
A Claremore couple is going on a road trip on Route 66 25 years after taking their honeymoon down the historic highway.
But this time they're doing it in a vehicle about as old as the road itself. News 9's Madison Jones tells us about the trip they say belongs in a different era.
25 years ago, Ed and Jackie Fogel rode down Route 66 in
a 59 Cadillac convertible.
Newlyweds chasing adventure.
I only broke down 3 times on the road. Picked up in Chicago, right at the corner where it starts, and headed down, all the way down Route 66.
Ed's connection to Route 66 started on day 1.
I was born in Hillcrest Hospital, which can't get much closer to Route 66 than that.
That lifelong connection is what's pulling them to give Route 66
So this is an original 1926.
another go. This time in a vehicle that carries 100 years of stories under its hood, a 1926 Hupmobile.
No power steering, no power brakes. Parking spaces can be a little bit of work, but it works. It drives.
Drives at a maximum speed of 55 miles per hour, giving the Fogels plenty of time to take in the sights and enjoy the vehicle's more unique features.
Has the window shade. We control that.
That way you can pull them down and sit back there and smooch.
They plan to drive all 2,448 miles until they reach Santa Monica, California.
And if it doesn't just totally break down to where it can't be fixed, we're going to do it one way or another.
This road trip is a celebration of history, adventure, and a love story that, like Route 66, keeps on going. In Claremore, Madison Jones, Oklahoma's own News 9.
Well, good luck to them.
The whole way?
That road trip.
That's crazy right there.
I know, but they are determined one way or another.
In that car.
In that car.
Good for them.
They
Wow,
plan to start in April. They actually have a Facebook page, so you can follow along their adventures on Route 66. We'll put that in the story on news9.com.
If they were going 20 miles, I'd be like, that's impressive. 20 miles in that car.
Right, but no, 2,000 plus.
Wow, good for them. Yeah. Hey, coming up next, CBS Evening News, investigators are searching for answers after a Jewish synagogue is set on fire.
And then here's a look at what we're working on for News 9 at 6 o'clock. The family of an unarmed security guard is speaking out after he is shot and killed at a downtown OKC hotel.
Plus, a Metro City hosts a groundbreaking for a new trail. We'll tell you the 2 trails it will be connected to once complete. Those stories, plus David's latest forecast coming up here in about 30 minutes.
Tracking our next storm. Hopefully that'll bring us some rain, maybe a little snow. And again, we'll kind of talk more about that coming up at 6. You guys fired up?
Yeah.
We need that. Looking forward to
You need the 6?
We need the rain.
That
for sure.
too.
Gotcha.
We'll see you at 6.